Hi everyone, it's Neve here and welcome to my art journaling channel. Today we're going to be doing a piece in my Use It Up journal using some collage rice papers from ScrapFX. So these beautiful rice papers are a new release from ScrapFX for May, and they're designed by the very talented Michelle Logan, who has been making the most amazing collagey bits and pieces at the moment for ScrapFX, and I am addicted to all of them. So her use of colour and design and lines and mark making just make my heart sing. So every time I see her things, I tend to use them an awful lot. And I got this sheet and I was going to use one or two of them, and I actually ended up using every single house on this sheet. So, you know, when you get carried away, you get carried away. In the background this is my new Use It Up journal. For those people who followed my channel for a little while, you know I love my Use It Up journal, but this is a different size because I couldn't get the size I usually get. And I have to admit, I am struggling a little bit to use it because I do not work in landscape usually. So it's just really making my head hurt trying to work out how to use it. But this page sort of just flowed together, partly because of the background I already had there, which again was just paint that I had just scrubbed into my book, and it just sort of ended up looking a little bit like a sunset. And the other perfect thing was it really echoed the colours that were in these beautiful images. So I'm just laying out the little houses and working out how I was going to have them sit together, and you know, just perfectly. They all fitted on the page really nicely, which was fantastic. Now, the only problem to this is when you're doing something like this, you sort of do need to know which one's coming before the next one or which one's coming after the next one, so you can have your overlaps working the way you want them to. So I'm putting down my gel medium and then putting some over the top. Now, you can sort of see where it's glossy in the background, which is where I've got it. So obviously I've got a little bit extra on those on these pages, sort of going up and over the top. That's okay, because the great thing about this is it all dries matte in the end, so all that glossy will disappear, and you can see that starting to happen already. The reason I'm putting the gel medium over the top as well is that just really helps seal it onto the page, make sure you're not going to have anything lifting or anything sticking together. So it's just a really good habit to get into when you're using your tissue papers, to make sure that everything's sort of glued down nicely. The rice papers are translucent, so you can see those colours from the background sort of seeping through. It doesn't really matter in this page so much because the colours sort of blend in with the colours in the background. But if you did want to have something that's more opaque, ScrapFX also sells these in cardboard weight, so you can actually use them in cardboard weight. And one of the other videos that will be coming up shortly is me using the cardboard weight ones, because I make an interactive journal page out of them. Just to pop the houses out and to sort of show which ones are sitting before and behind each other, I'm just using a Stabilo oil pencil and running it along the edges to make sure that everything is popping out from the background. And it just gives those natural shadows that you would have usually, which is really handy. So the Stabilo oil pencil, if you haven't used it before, is a water-soluble pencil, and it's just perfect for doing stuff like this. So while I was doing this, I was like, I didn't know what else I was going to do to the page, and when I don't know what I'm going to do, I tend to get my drawing pens out, either my black pencil or my white paint pen, and just doodle or do marks over the top, which I really enjoy doing. And it gives my time brain to sort of catch up with me and think, oh, what do you want to do next? So the great thing about Michelle's designs is she does a lot of this natural mark making on her pieces anyway, so you can actually kind of trace over some of her lines and just add your own in on top. What I would suggest that you do is you be really loose with it. If you try and be really exact and you make a mistake, it's going to stick out. If you're really loose and scribbly and scratchy with it, it actually looks like you're being deliberate with it, and it actually, for some strange reason, looks more artistic. I don't know how to explain it. It shouldn't really make sense, but it does. So once I'd finished sort of doing doodling stuff, I decided by this stage that I did want to actually have a quote to go across the top of the page. So I went to my favourite place to get quotes, which is Pinterest, and I decided to put a like a definition of home. So I found this one: a place your feet may leave, but your heart will always be, which I thought was perfect, particularly with the imagery of Michelle's houses that are covered in heights anyway. It sort of really fitted in. So that's it. If you wanted to do the background like I did, it was just some warm coloured paints that I had left over. I just scraped onto the background with paintbrush, and I think probably with my fingers as well. So it was pretty easy to do the background, but you could, I'm sure, come up with your own sunsetty background. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this and have a go. And to find any of the resources that you saw being used in this video, just check out the description box below to find out more. Until next time, bye for now.